Nag-crash na naman ang Bitcoin. As of the making of this video, Bitcoin sitting at $76,000 per Bitcoin. Pero hindi lang naman ang Bitcoin ang affected dito. Actually, all risk-on assets were affected by the trade war that Trump started with the entire world. And he called it Liberation Day. My God, Liberation Day means red everywhere. At titignan nga natin ngayon how badly was Bitcoin affected by this compared to everything else. Now, reminder, like when Trump announced this tariff, this global tariff, and he did it because he thought that the world was taking advantage of the US, ang nangyari ay nagkaroon na ng circuit breakers with the stock market. Circuit breakers are a way for the exchanges and regulation to be able to stop trading para hindi na lalo mag-bleed itong mga stocks natin. But for Bitcoin and for cryptocurrency, there are no circuit breakers. Bitcoin is trading 24/7. And although Bitcoin and stocks are somehow correlated right now, it seems like the correlation is it's starting to decouple. Yan, that's how I look at it. Because kahit bumagsak na yung mga stocks ngayon, Bitcoin, although it's also gone down, has not gone down as badly as the stocks in terms of overall drop. If we follow the same correlation of Bitcoin with the stocks, it should have dropped more. But I think this time, it has kind of decoupled from the stock market. Now, we're going to analyze this to see where we're at in this price action and then find out what you should do moving forward. First of all I have to say is this. Right now, I think you should all hold off on buying or selling any Bitcoins or any risk-on asset at that matter. Let's now look at the technical indicators to be able to determine what we should do next. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to look at here is the 300-day moving average. Kasi the 300-day moving average is a great support line for Bitcoin to be able to determine kung nasa bull market ka pa o kaya nasa bear market ka na. As you guys can see right now, we've actually passed the 300-day moving average, but not by much. And it seems to be holding so far. But we don't know what's going to happen. That's why right now, I suggest you hold off until we see what will happen today. And if it clearly goes below the 300-day moving average, it could signal a move downwards. But if it holds around the 300-day moving average and it hovers around that level, that means that there's a level of support that's going to keep it at that price range, and there could still be a chance we're still in the bull market. Pero if it's a clean break on the downside of the 300-day moving average, then you know that we're gonna be in the bear cycle already. Now, how do we know this? Okay, so pag dinignan mo itong chart na to ng Bitcoin, in the past, you've seen it also here in September 2024 when it dipped below the 300-day moving average at about $54,000 or just looks like about mga $53,000. But what happened? It actually recovered, and then we saw that next move up from 53 all the way to $109,000 here. So we're here right now at the level where it's just below the 300-day moving average. The 300-day moving average is at $78,000, and now it's about $76,000. So we're just a bit under. So titignan natin kung mag-recover ba yan from here, if that support line is going to recover, or will it completely collapse? Kasi if you look at it in the previous months and years, and especially in terms of cycle, if you look at the previous cycle, when you see here, in March 2023 is when it was on the 300-day moving average, and then once it started to go above it, that's the start of the bull cycle around March 2023. And then from there, it just kept going up, and then it touched the 300-day moving average again in September, around September 2023. And then from there, it started to move up again. That's when it started to go up. So even if it touches the 300-day moving average, nakikita mo dito that it doesn't necessarily signal the end of the bull cycle. It'll only do that when it crosses it convincingly. If it's below the 300-day moving average for at least a 7-day period, then that could be the signal of the end. So let's look at the end of the previous cycle to see what I mean by crossing the 300-day moving average convincingly. If you look at the previous halving cycle of 2020, makikita mo dito that it was starting to ride the 300-day moving average, and then what happens? Once it picked up above the 300-day moving average, then it went parabolic upwards. Then it went back down to the moving average and below the moving average around July 2021. but it actually recovered. That's what I mean by let's see how long it'll stay below the 300-day moving average. And if it does stay there and keep going lower, then you know we're in the bear market. But here, what happens? Then it recovered and then it took it to a new all-time high in 2021 of November. Soon afterwards, it did go back down and then it crossed the 300-day moving average convincingly all the way back down, and it even tried to test the 300-day moving average, but it met it with resistance, which brought it back down all the way to the bear cycle that we experienced in 2022. But the bear market was short-lived because you'll see here that by March 2023, that's when it crossed the 300-day moving average and went above it, and then that signaled the start of the new bull market which we're at today. So now, is the bull market over or not? Is this bull cycle over? I don't think so. At least not yet. We're going to be able to determine if it's over after about a week or 2 weeks to see where the price action will be. If it stays below the 300-day moving average and it keeps going lower, down to $72,000 per Bitcoin, and even lower than that, down to $67,000 per Bitcoin, then that could signal the end of the bull cycle and we're officially in the bear market. So that's one indicator to look at, and the 300-day moving average is a great indicator to determine where we're at in terms of whether we're in the bear market or the bull market. Now let's look at other technical indicators. Pag makikita mo dito yung RSI natin, we're at about 36 on the RSI, 34, 35, 36, about there. And it looks like it could go down a bit more by tonight. We should see it at about mga 25 on the RSI. And for me, that looks like it's pretty much oversold and we've got a good chance for a recovery. So what would I recommend for position traders? For position traders right now at $76,000 per Bitcoin, it's already a good time to be able to come in and be able to hold a little bit of your position in case it starts doing a move upwards. But if it does keep going down, you can also DCA some more at the $73,000 price. You'll be able to DCA some more there and even catch it even lower at about $70,000. That's why it's a good idea to DCA and not throw all your eggs into this basket right now and wait to see where it's going. If it's going to keep going up convincingly, you can always DCA upwards and still make a good profit. Now, for day traders, it's a good idea to be able to wait and see which way convincingly it's going to go. Kasi natakot yung market natin kaya bumagsak siya in the last few days and last week. But now that all the chaos has calmed down, everyone's relaxed and not acting emotionally, we could see where the bottom of this global trade war is going to end up. And for day traders that are trading with leverage, make sure to keep the leverage low and keep your position size small. Para sa ganun, you're not going to be too stressed, but you're still going to be able to make some money, whether it's upward or downward, but it's fairly volatile. Kaya be very careful when you do leverage trades. So my take on this is that right now, because we're holding at the 300-day moving average support line, I'd say it's a good chance to be able to DCA, especially for investors. Hold it and see what happens. If it goes down more, you can always buy more. But if it goes back up, at least you have a position already at such a good price. And if you ask me, I don't think we're at the end of the bull cycle. At least not yet. I'm still convinced that we have ways to go and we're still going to hit new all-time highs by the third quarter of this year, as long as we stay on the 300-day moving average and it doesn't completely collapse from there. So I hope this simple analysis has given you guys an idea of where I think we're going. Pero at the same time, please remember that I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not giving financial advice. And please do your own research. Kaya, what do you guys think? Do you think we're still in the bull cycle o kaya we're in the bear cycle already? And I want to hear why you guys think the way you do. And write all your comments here in the comment section below. And if you like content like this where we talk about crypto, money, investing, and trading, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel for more content like this. And please click on the notification bell para ma-notify ka of my latest videos. Guys, this is Chris Tan. I'll see you on the next video.